What I was expected to deliver, actually, the third C, the content, is the marketing things, the pricing thing, the business model. But be careful. We have an option. You have an option when you do the same thing as what I'm doing at the moment. You can jump into explaining the third C, but you will be dealing with serious risks. There are two risks actually that you have to deal with. One, maybe if you don't start with the two first C's, you jump into the third C, telling everything about the third C, which is the content. You you can be seen unrelevant because you don't build the first two C's. Yeah, what is the first two C's? The first is C, context. And the context is the thing that we have to say first to answer the question about why. So the first C, the context, is answering the question about why. C number two, context, or ulangi. Context is for why. C number two is concept. Concept is to give an answer about how. And the third C, the content, is to answer the what. Yeah, we can jump into the what, but you can lose the context. People don't really follow you. Yeah, that's the number one phrase that you have to deal. You will be seen unrelevant. Number two, you can be seen as a boring thing, a boring speaker, yeah, because you don't make sure the first C is important. So I would like to spend even 50% of my time talking about the C, yeah, the why. Now, here is the plan for at least 2 sessions or 2 sessions, but we have a concise session at the moment, which is okay, because the framework itself helps us to manage the time. So I've got three things as the context. Some strategic management people call it a strategic context, which is okay. Yeah. Again, please remember, bear in your mind that context answer the question about why. So I've got three things. Hopefully, you can answer why. We need to talk about how in this current situation we need to understand how we understand the customer, how to segment it, and how to put the best value of our pricing through the business model that we have to develop and apply. So we've got three things here that I like to discuss and deliver as the context. One is a phenomenon, is an important phenomenon, is still being it's still happening at the moment. Have been happening, in the last 5 years. Yeah, and as a business leader, it is a must for him or for her to be aware of that there is a phenomenon called the born of strategic digital gap happening in almost industries that we are in, yeah, at the moment in this digital era. That's number one. Okay, there is an implication, of course, about this phenomenon that we have to take into account when we develop and manage our marketing job. That's number one. Number two, not even we finish understanding well that the born of the strategic digital gap, we had a pandemic time. We've got also now the post-pandemic, situation. So we feel that there is kind of acceleration as far as the digitalization. So context number two is accelerated digitalization that we also need to put into our understanding about the first C, which is the context too. And as the result, as a business leader, as a business practitioner, as companies, as corporation, even as government, we have to understand that there are three great challenges for those who are managing the business and in today's environment. And I put it into the 3S acronym, which is the securing, surviving, and sustaining. Those three challenges will also be the strategic context that we have to put into account before we are able to develop, the approach that we have for having an effective marketing approach, which is the concept, and also deliver and develop and execute the real marketing programs, in our industry. So that's the first three context point I would like to share. Number two, the concept. As the consequences of those three things in the context, we are now in a position in the need of being able, to predict our consumer behavior with the new capability, which is the data analytic, based on a new segmentation approach called dynamic segmentation, not static segmentation. What's the difference? We would like to say, we would like to talk about that and discuss about that later on. And if we can have that new capability, we expect that we can target the right customer, and we can develop also the most relevant business model. People call it disruptive digital business models, yeah, with the omni-channel approach. And we can be sure that we also can allocate our resource appropriately. Okay. And finally, hopefully at the end of this class, people understand. Yeah, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it now, of course, in a class. But when you go back to your office, to your work, you understand the principles and the practices how to develop effective marketing strategic initiative and programs. So that's the plan. Yeah. Another check again. Are you still following me well with the as far as the voice?
Yes, Pak. Voice and visual still good.
This is really my lucky day. Yeah? Usually I always get a problem with the with the voice. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'll start with the first C, with the born of the strategic digital gap. When I was with Telkomsel, we had the budget for BOD members to always take an executive training every year. So my colleagues, both from Telkom Indonesia, because the shareholder is Telkom Indonesia, and also from Singtel, they, as usual, took the program in US, yeah, in Harvard, in Wharton, and many other prominent institution there. But not for me. I decided to go to Switzerland, yeah, and actually in Lucerne, about an hour from Geneva. That's a program called Leading Digital Business Transformation, delivered or arranged by IMD, one of the business school there in Europe. And in that training, I was introduced a model, yeah, called digital vortex. In bahasa Indonesia, maybe pusaran digital, ya, terjemahan bebasnya. So digital vortex actually is a result of a study conducted globally by IMD to measure likelihood and the opportunity for 12 industries to experience digital disruption. Yeah, the good thing about this model, the study is full with numbers, of course, stats kind of thing, right? But for the readers and for the for the trainer, for the training participant, I don't see numbers. I just only see the model, just like the vortex like this. Those 12 industries was mapped there, and the closer you are to the center of the vortex, the higher the opportunity for the industry to experience digital disruption. The further you are from the center, the least likely you feel the likelihood to experience the digital disruption. So as you can see here, the the top three would be technology-based company, media. I am in this industry now at the moment because I am one of the member of the transformation team to manage the ASO, yeah, the analog switch off agenda conducted by Minister of Kominfo, yeah, where all the digital analog TV are now transformed into digital one. So media and entertainment is always close to the center of the vortex, meaning that the intensity of this digital high there, retail, yeah, and all other industries are following accordingly. So that's the vortex. Then based on that model, we can better understand what we should understand about the disruption by looking at the data and the insight or the information used to draw that vortex. Actually, this is the base. Yeah, this is the information obtained from the study. So the institution, the IMD, can draw the digital vortex, yeah, report, and it is published yearly and it's free. You can download freely. Yeah, it is available in PDF form. We have the latest vortex, which actually follow the very totally different look or shape. No longer to follow the vortex form or shape. It most like a spiral. Yes, showing or demonstrating that all the 12 industries being studied actually all moving together to the center of the vortex as the impact of the pandemic situation that we have a couple months or 2 years ago. But back to this slide, used as the base to draw the vortex. We've got the 12 industry being research, yeah, and those each chart is this bar chart here showing the revenue size, yeah. My recommendation to all of you here, you have to remember by head, yeah. You always to remember without looking at your notes the size of each industry, because when I was before I was the director, my position was the vice president for corporate planning in Telkom Indonesia. So I used to memorize, yeah, the size. Just like, for example, telecommunication revenue size in Indonesia at the time was about 120 trillion rupiah, yeah, and media about 120 something, but because of the commission scheme they applied, the real size is about 12 trillion, yeah, trillion rupiah, and so on. So by understanding and memorizing those number, you can have a better feeling how what you can depict, you can a good a good understanding about what kind of industry you are managing. It is a very quick, growing industry, or is it a big size industry based on those numbers? We don't talk about that number at the moment, but we talk about the color. Yeah. Before
Pak Pri? Halo, Pak Pri?
the digital era. Hello, are you missing me? I'm missing?
Yeah, a bit, Pak. Previously, it was interrupted, but now should be fine, sih, Pak.
Okay.
Now should be
Let
fine.
me just
Yeah.
check my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is alright. So let me just continue. If you can hear me now normally already.
Not yet, Pak. Still interrupting sometimes.
Okay. Then what about if I try to choose the other